last module of this diploma course, and this is what it is. This is the character that I have created for the last module of this course, and his name is Mordred. I got this idea by looking at pictures on the internet which were of sorcerers like him who were powerful, and using those pictures I created this character. Mordred is a sorcerer who lives in a kingdom called Dakar, which is situated in the outer galaxies of the universe. Unlike the other sorcerers, Mordred is more powerful than them, and he has the power to summon various monsters such as hydras, zombies, witches, and ghosts. He is very ruthless, violent, and highly territorial. Mordred does not tolerate intruders or trespassers, and if they come to his kingdom or try to attack him...
Rudy, 1 second.
Mordred is very evil, ruthless, and highly territorial. He doesn't tolerate intruders or trespassers, and if they come to his kingdom or try to attack him, he uses these monsters to attack them. Sometimes he doesn't kill people who trespass in his kingdom, and he either lets them go or makes them work for him as slaves. In conclusion, he's very evil and dangerous, and he's not very nice. Thank you.
Very good. So this is your own imagination, Rudy?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I got the idea to make him after looking at some pictures on the internet which were of sorcerers like him who were not as powerful.
Okay.
How long did you take to complete it?
About 1 week.
1 week.
About 1 week it took.
Okay. And can you explain some powers that this character has it or something?
This Mordred is a sorcerer who can summon various monsters such as Hydra, witches, zombies, and ghosts, and he uses them to attack any intruders or trespassers who come to his territory or his kingdom.
So he's a master?
Yes, he's the ruler of a kingdom called Dakar.
So from where did you take this name, Dakar?
I got it from my own imagination. I didn't use it based on original kingdoms.
Okay.
I got it from my own imagination. As you can see, this is where he lives. There's a background, there's mountains with lava, and this is where he sits on a throne.
Good.
And and as you can see, he's like addressing his subjects. As you can see from the emotion that he's doing.
You want to go for the next one?
So this is what I have created for the final module of this course.
Okay.
Okay.
Good.
The other pictures that I have here are 6 of the best that I have presented to make a booklet.
Okay.
And this is one of them. He's a minotaur, and his name is Henry. He lives in ancient Egypt, but unlike other minotaurs who are very bad and hurt people, Henry is more kinder. He doesn't attack anybody, but he decides how to punish them if they try to provoke him.
Okay. So he's a kind-hearted monster.
He is. Unlike the other minotaurs who tell him to show angerness and to attack others, he refuses to do that.
Okay. So what is the most special thing in this character?
The most special thing is what he wears. He's wearing an armored suit, and he's quite dangerous, as you can see from his expression. He's trying to convince the other minotaurs to stop being rude to people and to show more kindness. He tries to convince the other minotaurs who are his friends to be kind to people, but they refuse to listen. So that is why he's acting like this. He's trying to say, show kindness, don't hurt anybody, be like me.
So this is also your own imagination?
It is. This is my own imagination. It is.
Okay.
This is another character that I have created, and this is Zilla. She's an Amazonian warrior who lives in a kingdom called Corona and is the protector of the land. She protects her kingdom from pirates and interdimensional creatures that want to attack her or bring harm to her people. That is what she does.
She's a good woman.
She is good.
Good, yeah.
She is
good character.
She is good.
Zaki, do you want to improve on this one?
Yeah, we talked about it last time. This is the old work. Yeah, the highlight of the sword.
I like the character, it's very nice.
Yeah, anatomy wise also I think the proportions and all you might have to adjust a bit.
Yeah. Anyway, I asked him is that after this he got to practice more on his anatomy.
Sure.
And I already give a lot of the homework for him and give to madam, right?
See, Rudy, you need to continue the practice.
Yes.
You know, while you're giving your final presentation, but as an artist, the practice continues every day.
Oh, still continues.
Still continues. You need to still spend at least 2 hours every day to practice, you know, for the, you know, various assignments which or the characters you want to work on.
I have been doing that recently. I've been working more on the hands, the legs, and the eyes, and everything. I have them all on papers, how to draw the face, and I'm following it step by step.
Correct. So continue the practice, huh?
Yeah, I
Because only the practice makes a person perfect, right?
Yes, yes, it does. This is another one that I have created before. It's part of my booklet. This is a dragon called George. He's very friendly, unlike the other dragons who are dangerous.
I like this. This is the best.
Yeah, I created that about 4 months ago.
Okay.
About 4 months ago, I created this. And then this is what I did. This is a city that I have created, and it's based on the topic called 1-point perspective. I created this city based on my understanding of 1-point perspective, in which I used basic objects and pictures. And I did this using the construction line method and then the render method. That's how I made the city.
Have
That's
you
the only one you have for this one, Zaki?
Yeah, I got another one.
This is a pyramid that I created in Egypt. It's also part of 1-point perspective. This was the first project that I did when I first started this course. This was my first project. Then the city was my second project.
And dragon was the third.
Yeah, dragon was the third.
Zaki, how much time did you took for the second one? Can you shift to the another one?
For this one?
Yeah,
This one took a bit longer though.
I think so.
Yeah, very, very long.
Yeah, that took about maybe 5 weeks.
Oh.
About 5 weeks, because it's not that easy.
So now, since you have learned various technologies, right, various techniques, which one do you think is your favorite?
What I like is learning about how to draw the body.
Okay.
How to draw the oval face, the eyes, the mouth, the nose, and the body's parts.
Okay.
I have been practicing that recently in my spare time. I still do that.
Okay. Don't stop doing the body and the. Remember how to do measurement of the face, because I want you to, when you draw in front of me, you follow the measurement. But when you do at home, do the same. Do not just go.
I still have papers of them at home that you gave me to show how it's done.
Okay.
And I still do that. I still practice. I've been practicing a lot recently.
Continue that.
I'll still continue. Yeah.
Any new character which you have in your mind which you could not draw so far?
The characters that I haven't drawn so far are animals.
Okay. Okay.
I've been focusing more on human faces. That's all.
Why do you like this whole area?
Because animation is what can give my imagination a chance to work very properly. When I do animation, I'm able to use my imagination to conjure characters. That's why I like this course.
I didn't expect the answer. Okay.
And what was the most toughest thing which occurred during the course?
It's only when it came to using the render method.
Okay.
Because the render method takes more time to do because it's quite a very tough thing. The render method is what I use to make those pictures look like three-dimensional pictures until I could use the coloring to make them look more attractive.
What do you think about this moderate? I mean, just look at the what you've done.
Okay.
How could you improve it?
Maybe to write more about him.
No, I think the writing is great. What about the drawing?
I could give the throne a little bit more color.
Okay.
Can give the throne a bit more design.
I can design the throne a little bit better.
He can light up the background, and as far
Yeah.
as the legs part is concerned, the front legs, that one probably is Zaki, you can add a little bit more. If you look at the right leg and the left one,
Yeah.
they look pretty different, and the feet are hardly visible. Last one.
He actually looks to be a very nice guy from face.
He actually doesn't look evil at
Yeah.
all.
He is a sorcerer, but he's not necessarily evil.
Then who are the bad guys? Because
He-
everybody that you
In-
have presented
in your
are
book,
the good
everybody is
guys.
good.
Because
There's
himself
no
is a good
evil
guy.
person.
He is evil. He only becomes evil if anybody tries to overthrow him or try to kill him. Only then
No,
he
but here
shows
you
his
said
potential.
that Mordred is ruthless and violent
Yeah, and
Yeah.
evil.
and evil.
In conclusion, his alignment is bad.
Okay.
Alignment is bad.
So he's a bad guy.
He's
Yes,
a bad guy.
and his goal is to protect his kingdom from people who want to go against him or try to kill him.
Yeah. You can brighten up the chairs if you want to. Brighten
Yes.
up the chairs.
Roddy, do you write stories?
Stories. I do write my own stories.
Do you have a storybook with you?
I keep them hidden somewhere in a secret part in my room. But I
Why?
don't show-
Because he has a very his story is telling capability is really nice of how he explains his thought. Have you written stories for games?
Not for games.
So what kind of stories do you write?
I write stories of myself in imaginary worlds and adventures that I have.
If we give a concept and ask you to develop a story based on the concept that you want, can you write a story?
Yeah, I could try.
What is your strength, and what is it that you're not so good at?
I'm just not very good at drawing most parts of the character properly because they're not drawn like ordinary characters and they are steps to follow. It's mostly to do with the head, which is an oval face.
So you have difficulty with the head.
Yeah, mostly to draw the shape of the oval because it's like an egg.
So how can you improve that?
By always practicing.
Do you think you practiced right through the course, or more towards
I have been practicing through the course.
right through, or only more towards the end?
I've been practicing at least through the course. I have been doing this.
All the way the same amount, or you practiced more in the end?
No, I practiced more. I practiced through this course. I didn't practice towards the end.
So what is your strength?
Yeah, what is your
Yeah.
strength? You've talked about
What
what
are
are
you
the
good at?
areas of weaknesses.
I am good at drawing the eyes because I have a lot of papers at home that show how they are drawn, and I use them to practice how to do them in my own time.
Okay.
That's how I do
You know,
it.
Rajesh asked you a question
You're good at
about
writing,
saying.
Rudy.
One second. You asked you a question.
Yes.
He said you're good at stories. Is
I
that true? And if so, why?
I know how to plan a story, but only when it comes to planning a new one, I need more understanding.
Of the character.
But what do you use? I mean, what part of your capability?
I just use my own imagination to create it.
The stories that you start, do you complete it, or it's like you start something and then you think of another story and you continue doing it?
No, I write one whole story first, with a beginning, middle, and end.
So how many stories do you have?
So far I only have 3 of them.
Okay.
Just 3 of them.
And why you don't want to share it with anybody?
Because I don't feel that I'm ready to share it right now.
Talk about your imagination, because again, this is what Rajesh was asking, and I think that's interesting to me also. What's your imagination like? What do you imagine?
I imagine
Is it something outside of you, or is it something where you are involved?
It's something outside of me.
Mm-hmm.
As I told you, this is what my imagination is full of. It's full of animated characters, lands, animals, everything. This is what my imagination is. And sometimes I'm lost in this kind of dream, and I can't focus on other stuff.
Out of this, which one is your best, or which one is your favorite artwork? Out of all of the 6, 7.
I would say the dragon. The dragon.
That's true. Why is, if I look at this, the dragon is clearly the best. Modred, the girl was not so good. And I think the Modred was number 2 and the girl was number 3. But this is clearly very nice.
Beautiful.
Like the color.
It's shocking.
Why did this come out to be so good while others couldn't?
Well, because I drew the body parts properly.
Mm-hmm.
As well, his body parts are different, and I drew, and also because he has wings.
Also the colors, Rudy. You
Yeah.
had colors.
Yeah, I mixed the colors together. I gave him a bit of pink, bit of brown, bit of red, all mixed them together.
Yellow, lots of yellow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
If you were to do something again, let's say you were to, what do you think, what is it that you do well, and what is it, other than this, you say that, what would you focus on? Would you focus on people or animals?
I would focus less on drawing animated characters and more on creating other kinds of creatures.
Like?
Like maybe dinosaurs or dragons.
Animals.
Does your story have all kinds of genre or limited to any specific genres?
Not really, not always.
What kind of genres do you like?
Ones that involve stories to do with princesses and princes.
Fairy tale.
Dragon princesses or human
I
princesses?
think it's more to fairy tale, right?
Yeah, and I do write stories a
Fairy
lot.
tales and disasters.
No, I know you write stories. My question was, what kind of genre?
When he says genre, what types? Is
What
it
types?
like people
Actually,
or
You
is
said
it
you could
animals or?
princess and
Fairy
princesses,
tales.
Yeah, that's
fairy
right.
tales.
Yeah,
So
but
those are some of the
are they
genres
princesses like humans or are they principal like dragons or?
No, they are like humans.
Also disasters. You write a lot of stories.
I also
on
write stories
disasters.
about disasters. Like if a monster came to Singapore and destroyed it, like this,
That sort of thing.
or even natural disasters, whereas the humans are at fault. I write those recently.
Do you play games?
I do, but not all the time.
How much time do you spend on playing games?
At least maybe 1 hour or so, because I do play games that are to do with fighting, like Time Crisis games and other games like even to do with monsters.
But was that in the mall? I mean, in the malls or were
No,
it
at
in
home.
your?
He has quite a
home?
few games at home.
I do have games at home, and I still play them.
He's good at them. He gets very quickly into.
Does any game inspire you to write a story about the game that you have played?
Yeah, sometimes, but not recently.
What was one of the that you liked the game and say the story is nice?
One of the games was about Time Crisis, and but I didn't write a story about that. I wrote my own story of where I wrote stories based on other games.
Which one?
Games that were to do with the hijacking of planes or trains.
My sense is he'll start off on a story, not be clear on the end, but he'll finish it. And each time he's improvising. He can it's an evolving process. But he has like he said, he has a beginning, a middle,
Yeah,
and an end.
it's true.
But we don't know
It's
what
true.
the end is. Neither does he when he starts.
Yeah, it's true.
So usually your stories have happy ending or sad ending?
Sometimes they have happy endings, other times they have sad endings.
What's a sad ending?
Sad ending is when nobody is able to survive a disaster, or if somebody sacrifices their life to save somebody.
And what's a happy ending?
Happy ending is when they reconcile in the end after some problem that they had, and then they separated, and then they get back together as a family.
Very good.
Those are happy endings. Not sad endings when sometimes they have imaginary friends who have to leave. That's all.
How many pages generally are stories? How many pages do you write?
About maybe 3 pages or so. I do that. I don't do that. I haven't been doing that recently because of what's been going on with the course. But I did do it sometime in September when I was unwell. Around that time I started writing stories.
If we give you a character or some images, would you be able to develop a story based on that?
Yeah, I could try. But all I need help is with how to plan the beginning, middle and end.
I think my sense is you just try.
You just try, yeah. I think
You don't
can
need
do it.
any help.
Yes.
Just
You don't
try
need
on
any
your
help.
own.
Yes.
Give you some colored, nice images, maybe send you by email or something, and then you pick it up, and then you try to imagine based on what has been given to you. Of course, they will be linked. They will not be entirely different images. There will be some linkages, and
Okay.
based on that, you will develop some.
Okay.
You can
yeah.
imagine this could be the beginning, this could be the center, maybe the middle, and then that would be the end.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rajesh?
So what is your next course of action? What do you want to do next?
Well, next I have to decide how I'm going to be able to set up a business here. That will be to manufacture video games and films.
Okay.
That is my next step.
But really, don't you need to do some more work on animation first?
Yeah, a
You
little
need
bit.
to learn how to make this dragon fly.
Yeah.
How do you make this guy fly?
What I'm
Or
interested in
breathe
is what,
fire. How are you going to do that?
what I'm interested in is how to make animated characters move and talk.
Ah,
That is what I want to learn next. How to make them move and talk.
you can only do it later. Yeah.
That
Do
is my
you-
next step.
Okay.
Rajesh, rigging and all is not their part, right?
That is my
Rigging,
next step.
texturing.
But that is my next step.
Are you open to work for some time before you set up the business?
Mm.
Yes, I will. Yes, I will. Yes, I will practice the more on the face about me.
No, no,
I
no.
think
Her question
our question
is
was different.
different. She said, are you willing to work, do a
Employment,
job
job.
before you do your business? The
I will-
answer is yes.
Yes, I think I am.
Yes, definitely.
I think I am.
Yeah.
Because you need to know the industry. You need to
Mm.
know
Industry.
how does it work before you start the business,
Exactly.
Oh, I see.
right?
Okay.
I agree.
Yes.
You need to know.
I asked him a very tough question before we came here because my interest is more to elicit some real
I think I
responses.
understand.
Hmm.
I understand.
So I had asked you a question. Do you mind if I ask you the same question again, which
Go
I
ahead.
asked you earlier?
Go ahead.
I said, Rudy, you've done your O levels in English, but only in English, nothing else, but yet you're close to getting a diploma. So, how come you were not successful in getting O levels in other subjects, but you have made progress in this diploma?
The answer is
I didn't understand much of the other subjects, and my mind was not working well at that time. But only when I started learning about animation, I was able to use my imagination to make my mind work properly. That's why I only cleared my English for O levels, and not the other subjects. But I did my best.
You got a B grade in English language, not literature, language.
yeah, B plus.
Yeah, English is literature and spelling.
But other subjects, no. But the question really is, so for me, your imagination is interesting. How can you use it?
Well, every time when I sleep at night, I have dreams of myself in imaginary worlds. And sometimes I think, and sometimes I get lost in those dreams that I can wake up on time. That's what's been going on recently.
So what time you sleep and what time you wake up?
I do sleep at 11:30, but sometimes I'm lost in the dream that I can wake up.
Mm-hmm. So usually what time you wake up?
Usually by maybe 7 or 8 I would wake up.
Mm-hmm. Good. Do you travel?
I haven't been traveling lately because of this course, but maybe I should travel for a while, maybe in about another week. I'm planning to go out into the world more often to get more used to it and to understand it until I can have a life of my own.
Yes.
That's why I'm going to travel more often around the world. I'm not going to stay in Singapore all the time. I'm going to travel.
Very good.
I will do that.
So we should all clap for Rudy, huh, Mr. Zaki?
Thank you very much.
Good job done.
Can you do that?
Rudy, you have finished.
Excuse me. Okay. I'll take it. I would like to present this booklet to everybody at Madges to thank them for their help.
For my diploma.
I'd like to give this booklet to everyone at Madges for my diploma.
Who do I give it to?
Who do I
you
give it to?
it?
Who do I give this to? I have to give this to everyone at Madges for my diploma.
All of us will take together. Come.
Oh, you. No, who do I have to give it to?
Yeah, okay, give it to me.
Do you want to see it first?
Yes.
Want me to open it and show
Yes.
you?
Yes, please.
Yes.
Thank you.
I went to that place yesterday to get it printed.
What place?
Some place called Peace Center where there's a photocopy shop there.
Yes.
And I saw how they made this into a booklet. If you want it, you can take it.
Yes,
Thank
thank you
you.
very much. Very nice.
You want to look through it if you want? This is a booklet that I want everybody to keep for my diploma.
Yes, we will keep it.
Saki, do we have any more modules for you for this one?
No, this is the final one.
I did create others before. Like once I created a cabin, I created other characters. But many pictures that you see here are what I created on my own.
Have you taken, my suggestion is that some of this he can actually take a bigger, can frame and can put it at home.
Yes, that's a great idea.
Especially that
Yeah.
dragon. I
The
think.
dragon.
Definitely.
Yeah.
We would like to.
So it'll be good inspiration for him.
Yes,
You know,
keep
once he
reminding
has,
him.
that,
Okay.
yeah.
Thank you. I just want to thank everybody for helping me with this course, especially Mr. Zaki for teaching me and being patient.
Very good, very well done, both of you. Yeah.
I don't know what I'm going to do next, but I'm going to start thinking. But I have a plan to set up a business. But before that, I have to go out into the world and understand it better.
Yes.
That is why I'm going to travel.
You travel, you work
The la-
on some freelance jobs. Okay.
Yes, the last time I traveled was only in 2015.
Mm-hmm.
Until I had to do this course and then I could not travel anymore.
Mm.
Good. So,
Very good.
by the way, thank you all for the patience, the
Yeah,
kindness,
thank you
and
so much. Been
the
very
accommodation. I also I think that during this period, he's had a certain degree of internal reflection and maturity, which has come through, and I'm aware of all the incidents. And he has shared that, and I think it's like a opening for him. My only sense of Arudra is his learning is not linear, it's in step functions. He'll be nothing and then That's how we learned the language.
Linear.
Because his language, linear when it goes like this, for example, his language he couldn't read at all. And then suddenly he read. Like almost overnight. You give him a very complex word, he knows how to pronounce.
That is true. I used to have many hobbies before, but I don't do them anymore.
You've been busy with the course.
I've been busy with the course. That's why.
Because now you have to start looking for work.
To
Look at work.
I used to
Not
have
a job.
I think you can work a lot harder, son. But never mind.
Rudy, you have to look for a job.
Well,